Okay, this is my 2018 YZ250FX, and I have it cleaned up. I have all the plastics off, seat, gas tank, all that removed, as you can see. And I thought that while I had it kind of stripped down like this, I would add a power connection that I could tap into for a USB charger or a headlight, GPS, or some other type of accessory. I don't want to attach to power that's always on, such as directly to the battery. I want to attach to some point where I can get power that's only on when the bike is running and turns off automatically once the bike is shut off. This bike doesn't have a key switch, so how it works is when you press the starter button, it immediately turns on some relays, which then feed power to different parts of the bike. Those relays are located mostly behind this cover. There's one right here, and the others are behind this cover. So the first thing we're going to want to do is remove this cover to give us easy access to all the relays we want to work with. Remove the 4 screws shown in these pictures to remove the cover. Once those 4 screws are removed, the cover simply slides out this side of the bike, exposing the relays that we need access to. So I already took the time to poke around with my meter and found where I want to connect my power. And I want to connect my power to this relay. To remove the relay, just lift up on it to remove the rubber holder from the bracket. There's 2 brown wires feeding in that center pin there. That's where I want to tap off of. At this point, now you know which wires to tap into to access the 12 volts that turn off automatically 1 minute after the bike is powered off. There are several ways you can tap into this. For example, you can use a wire tap, or you can use any variety of your favorite methods for tapping into a wire. The remainder of this video just simply shows the method that I used to tap into this power and routing the harness. And there is a very convenient empty slot right here. That's where I will put my wire. I will run my wire up in there, and then I will, inside here, inside this socket, I will make contact with the blade of the relay. So now we will remove the relay. I really like this method for removing the relays. It's just guaranteed to work every time. You can pull a relay out with your hands. It's just so difficult. You have to hold these tabs open on both sides of the relay while at the same time pulling the relay out, which the relay, you can't get a very good grip, and the relay is kind of tight, so it's just more difficult than doing it this way, which is to use these little pieces of plastic that I cut out of milk jug, old used up milk jug, and I just put them in here to hold the tab open. It's so easy, it's free. I mean, this stuff is everywhere. Everybody throws away milk jugs. There we go. And then relay can pull out. Don't squeeze hard on it. You don't want to break it. Just squeeze enough to get a grip, and then wiggle it back and forth while you're pulling up, and it will come right out. There we go. And I want to tap into this blade right here, the kind of center one there. I'm going to need to use my soldering iron and melt away a little bit of plastic to make a little path for the wires to route. If I don't do that, then the wires will keep the solenoid from plugging in fully, because the wires will pinch between the solenoid and the plastic part of this socket here, and it won't let the solenoid fit in all the way. And I will melt this away right now. And that should be good. Now I have my harness. Let's feed our power wire through that empty slot. There we go. Just like that. And then bend that over. Then take a screwdriver and push these wires down into that socket. Like that right there. And then we want to reinstall the relay. It'll be a tight fit. Push it in there good. Make sure it locks in. And that has our power connected. So now we can put this relay back to the bracket it was originally installed on. And the fuse will just kind of rest right in there, which will be behind that cover and be protected. And then all we have to do is figure out how we want to route the rest of this. We hook up our ground wire, of course, and then we just route this with some tie wraps. Okay, so I finished the routing, and how I did it. This is the fuse. This is the fuse and the power wire coming out of this relay. And here's where the ground wire meets the power wire. The ground wire is attached underneath, just like this stock battery ground here underneath, same place, all tightened down and everything. And then I routed it. I added this tie wrap here. It's just going around this big harness that runs from the front to the back of the bike right here. I added that. Then I added, there was already a tie wrap here that goes through a little slot on this plastic side panel here. So I removed the original tie wrap and I put a new tie wrap in there and put it through that slot in the panel and just incorporated my new power harness in it. And then just routed it up to here. Right here's that SAE connector. I put one tie wrap around it to secure it, and the cap is on. And that's it. I already took my meter and verified that I have 12 volts between the red wire, this connection here, and the ground on this side when I touch the starter, and it turns back off after a minute, and that's exactly what I was shooting for. So now I'll just put this cover back on and I can put my bike back together and go riding this weekend. Finished putting this cover back on, and I just wanted to show just how well all this fits in there. No problem at all. And it's all routed nice and neat. Couldn't be happier with it. And now I have power available. I'll have to buy something to attach to the bike and utilize that power source. Happy riding.